morning, everybody. I look forward to going over a real quick couple of things with you this morning. I know that everybody is super busy and ready to roll, and as far as the office here, it is buzzing and humming along, and I'm just super excited for the weeks ahead here for the next month and a half or so, and it's just going to be an amazing few weeks coming up. I just want to let everybody know that I don't normally have as many attendees today, obviously, because of the fact that it is AEP, but I'm still going to go ahead and roll with this. So I hope everybody sits tight. We've got about maybe 20, 25 minutes or so at the most. We're going to go over a real quick couple of reviews and then get some motivation out everybody's way this morning. So I welcome this morning, everybody. If you are your first time attending, my name is Robert. I'm the training specialist here with the NatGen team, specifically on the Medicare side of things. So if you have been joining me over the past couple of weeks, and actually the past couple months, you've gotten super familiar with me. I just want to let everybody know that I'm coming to you from a little bit of a different office today. So if there's any issues as far as technical or audio, let me know. Shoot me a question into the question box or the chat box. I'm going to be monitoring those throughout. But with that said, I just want to wish everybody a happy Motivation Monday this morning. So if you aren't really too familiar with the process, what we're going to really do here today, as far as it's concerned, is just really quickly go through a couple tips of the week. We're going to refresh last week's tips and then a couple new tips for today. We'll touch on some trends in sales leaders real quick and then jump into today's sales technique. Today's sales technique is not really necessarily a review, but it's kind of a summary plus an update with some updated information as far as the Medicare side of things are concerned, so that we can keep our focus on that. It is an exciting time to be a part of the organization right now. I can guarantee you that. I have just been amazed at the amount of change and the amount of questions and just the energy that I've been feeling from everybody. It's just outstanding. So I am looking forward to an amazingly successful AEP this year. And for those that have been asking questions, the amount of questions and the content that's been coming in has been extraordinary. So I appreciate that. Everybody keep that up. I am at your disposal for the foreseeable future here through AEP. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, definitely let me know and we can certainly touch on those. But I am just overall very, very excited for the upcoming weeks here. So last week, what we actually discussed is we did a couple tips of the week in regards to some of the open promotions and the campaigns that were going on right now. One of them was the Fast Cash with the monthly sprint that was going on from October 1st to March 31st. They were going up to about $150 per policy if you were selling any more than 20 plus Medicare supplementals in the month. Anything from 3 to 9 was 100, but there was one of those monthly sprints. And then we also had the Cabo trip that we discussed, which is just amazing. I will definitely be very, very jealous of all of you individuals that are going to qualify for this. I foresee a lot of people actually being able to be ready and get ready for the beach on this one. So basically the way that this contest was run is that if you sold 100 NatGen Medicare supplement policies, they're going to send you to Cabo. That is amazing. Or if you sold 150, they were going to send you and a guest to Cabo, which is even more amazing. So if you are actually one of the top selling writing agents overall, they're going to send you and a guest and actually give you an upgrade into a private suite. So not only are you going to already be going to Cabo with yourself and a guest, but you're going to be getting a nice private suite if you're the top selling writing agent. But if you look at this really carefully, 100 NatGen Medicare supplement policies, as I've been explaining over the past couple of weeks, these med sups, as far as original Medicare side of things, they can definitely sell themselves. So I don't see any reason why we're not going to have an extraordinary number of individuals that are going to be able to qualify for this. So I wish everybody good luck on that, and take some pictures and have a margarita for me when you're down there as well too. It's going to be a very, very exciting trip. That's just an amazing place to visit. On the note of the med sups, as far as our current tip of the week this week, I just want to let everybody that's actually signed up and certified for the MedSup states, we actually have a new state-specific brochures and an updated generic brochure that are going to be available on quoting and on the NatGen A&H site. They have their MedSup page that those are going to all be located on. But additional news on this is that they actually do have the approved and finalized Texas brochure that's now available, which was actually going to be active as of today, 10/15. They're actually indicating that that's going to be posted later in the week, but it is new, it's finalized and approved with legal, so we are ready to roll on that. So that's exciting news. Now, on the not so exciting front, unfortunately, we didn't have any updated trend numbers, but I can tell you right now for the last few weeks, as far as our short-term medical and fixed benefits were going, we've had some major increases on that VBA on the fixed benefit side. I mean, if the trends keep continuing going, which I see no reason why they wouldn't, especially bumping up in the following weeks, we were pushing 9, almost 10 weeks in a row for that on the fixed side. And we had on our accident, golden rule, CBL, and NHIC for critical illness and dental. So we had increases all across the board last week. And, again, we don't have any updated numbers, but we'll get those distributed out as soon as they come out. On that same note, we don't have any specific individual names that I could recognize today, but I did want to at least give a shout out again to last week's winners, which were Dustin, Katya, and Susan on our short-term side. Over the past weeks and the past months, Dustin, Katya, Susan, Andrew, Jacob, Elaine, you guys have been doing some amazing work. Cody, amazing stuff. And again, I do definitely want to recognize our top 3 here on this aspect, but everybody deserves an amazing round of applause on that. You guys have just been out there killing it, and the numbers that I'm seeing are reflecting that. So good work to everybody, a round of applause to everybody. Likewise on the limited benefit side, last week we had Kent, Katya, and Robert. Katya and Robert have been up there for the past month or 2 in a row. You guys have been just kind of jockeying back and forth, and Kent, you had overtaken first last week. So great job to all of you. Even like Gerald, Filbert, everybody's been doing an amazing job over the past couple months. So, again, a huge round of applause to everybody. And all that I can see at this point, hopefully when AEP comes, I'm going to start to see some new names come out on the other side, and maybe some additional names, taking over first, second, and third place on each of these sides. So once the enrollment window opens for your individual med and things of that nature as well too, hopefully we can see some really good shakeups on the names here. So again, what we're going to really do today is kind of just really quickly give a real quick broad overview of what we've discussed, and then going to discuss some really kind of new features as far as some of the CMS info that's came out over the weekend as well too. So this entire time that we've actually been together, I've been with y'all now for about almost 9 or 10 weeks that I've been working on the Medicare stuff, starting way back a couple months ago when we initially went out, just kind of talking to everybody about why even sell Medicare, why get interested in selling this product. And one of the main reasons that we had actually highlighted was this 4.8 million people that went without any supplemental coverage last year. So just about 5 million individuals are waiting for your phone call, and I can almost 1000% guarantee you this year that number is going to be greatly increased. So those Cabo trips and those other individual those tips that we had gone over, those things are very within reach. So I have no reason to doubt why we're not going to have very many individuals qualify for those trips, especially on the med sup side of things. Just the amount of pool of people that's eligible nowadays with the baby boomer generation and 10,000 new enrollees, that's just ridiculous amounts of numbers. So not only is that really going to grow your current book of business, but you're going to get those new leads in for anybody that's aging in, like for example, if they're going to have their special enrollment period, or individuals that are going to have their initial enrollment period for their 65-year their birthday year. So you got those 7 months in that aspect to do enrollees, and you can just be selling this product continuously 12 months out of the year. So there's no reason why we should not just be making everybody a lot of money and making everybody a lot of rewarding conversations with individuals as well too. So those connections are going to be things that you're going to be making now if you're new to Medicare this year, or if this is your 10th year. Those are going to be people that are going to be sticking with you for the years to come, and those residuals are really going to be an important factor of that, and those referrals that you get from those individuals as well. So we really quickly as well, over the prior couple of weeks, we went over a real quick 8-step preparing to sell checklist, anything from getting your marketing plan started to expanding your pipeline and making sure that you stay compliant. On the note of compliance, we're actually going to have an email that goes out a little bit later today. We are going to have, well, at least we're going to try and get as many individuals as possible for this Wednesday to do our Wednesday Medicare topic, but this Wednesday is specifically devoted for the compliance questions and those do's and don'ts and cans and cannots in regards to making sure that everybody just stays compliant during this important time of the year for enrollments. Now, what we're going to do real quick today for our Motivation Mondays. AEP, as far as the annual enrollment period, CMS actually just on Friday released some of the most updated changes in regards to Part A, B, and C, mainly on the Parts A and B side. So I just want to make sure that everybody is 100% up to date with all of the most current information that's out there. So on the Part A of side, as far as the coverage, again, just to review real quick, that the A side being for your inpatient care, for anything like hospital stays, inpatient care, skilled nursing facilities. On that note, we had some questions in regards to the other section that's down here in regards to the 3-day minimum inpatient hospital stay. So just to clarify a couple things in regards to that 3-day stay. What that 3-day stay really implies for, and is really meant there for, is that once they have actually obviously their stay is going to begin the day that they're formally admitted, right? So we're going to start counting days on that admission day. But generally, there's a couple different ways that you can actually be, categorized when you're actually inpatient in the hospital. One of those can be just what would be considered an observational status, where you might even stay 1, 2, even more days than that, just under observational. So it's actually something to make sure that the individual enrollees know, is that, if the potential is there that they're going to be discharged from the hospital under 3 days, or maybe even over 3 days there, but they still stay in that observational status, that's really what's going to make the difference between their Part A paying and their Part B paying. It's likely on the Part A or the Part B side, one may pay more than the other, depending upon the actual designation of what they are when they're inpatient. So the main thing to really kind of keep in mind here is regarding the 3-day minimum stay, is that really the requirement as far as the skilled nursing facility side. So for example, individuals will actually be able to be covered under skilled nursing if they had a 3-day minimum inpatient stay. For example, though, if they weren't 3-day, or if they were, let's say, even over 3-day, but they only stayed under observational status, that skilled nursing facility, that actual coverage on that Part A side, it might not actually cover them in that aspect. So that's why it's really critically important to understand, and one, not only realize and understand what their actual designation and what they've been designated as a patient-wise, but two, just to make sure they realize that, if they are going to need some follow-up care after that, or if it's something that's ordered as far as some nursing facility care, that's where that 3-day inpatient stay is really important to remember. Now, on the side of some of the changes. So on the Part A side, most of the individuals, they're going to get their Part A coverage without really having to pay any sort of premium. So they're going to get in essence, a premium-free Part A. I never go and advise anybody that it's just free. Part A is completely free, because it's not actually. The way that it works is the credits are deemed 1 credit every 3 months for a total of 4 per year. 3 times 4, 12 months out of the year, right? And then once they reach 40 credits and or the minimum threshold there of the 10 years of working, that's when they're going to qualify for that Part A premium. Now, if they don't qualify for the premium, the new changes as far as what CMS just came out with is that this year, for the 2019 plan year, their monthly premium cost is going to be at a maximum of $437. So that's a slight increase from the prior year. So if you look at it this way, what this actually breaks down to is that any individual that has those credits that were actually redeemed, as far as 1 for every 3 months, if they've worked less than 30 quarters, that's when they're going to have to pay that maximum of the $437 premium on the Part A side, right? Now, if they work from 30 to 39 quarters, it then drops that cost dramatically down to $240. And again, this $437 and the $240 are just the most updated numbers that CMS just sent out on Friday the 12th. So if you're not already on the CMS mailing list and you didn't hear this, or if you didn't see an email announcement, this is the most current information to actually disseminate out to the individuals that are enrolling this year as well. And then of course, once they reach the 40 quarters, that's when they get the premium free Part A coverage. Now, some other additional changes on the Part A side, deductible. The deductible went up a little bit. It's at $1,364 for the plan year 2019. So again, it's $1,364. And then likewise, what that means then is that the co-insurance costs did adjust a little bit as well. So when they get into the hospital initially, they're going to pay that deductible up front, the $1,364, for basically the first 60 days that they're in the hospital, right? Anything after 60 days, that's when that co-insurance portion is going to be kicking in. Now, with the new numbers that CMS just sent out for days 61 through 90, we're at $341 per day. And then from day 90 and beyond, and again, these are for each benefit period, it's $682 per lifetime reserve day, which they have up to 60 of those days in a lifetime. The inpatient mental health care in the psychiatric hospital is still limited to the 190 days in the lifetime portion. But the main things to remember here is that the daily rate for the 61s through 90 and then the after 90 day, as well as the deductible, have all slightly gone up. And then on the flip side of things, for the skilled nursing facility, there was a slight adjustment on the skilled nursing facility up to 170.50 for days 21 through 100. Again, the first 20 days for each benefit period is a zero cost, so they wouldn't have anything once they get into the facility due. But once they get over day 20, 170.50. Again, this is right where those med subs are going to kick in for everybody, right? So once they actually can see these numbers, then they, oh my gosh, I can't pay something like that. Med sup is going to sell itself. So again, 100 of those med sup policies during this AEP window, during that Cabo window, I don't see any reason why we're not going to have just a ton of people qualify for that. So these G's are just going to be rolling out. On the Part B side, as far as the outpatient side, so remember Part A in, Part B out. On the Part B side, as far as the doctor visits and outpatient services, and it even covers things like their medical equipment and the x-rays. It is optional for them, but it's available to anybody who's going to get that Part B. Now, premium wise, the new premium amount for the standard Part B premium is set at $135.50 for the year. It could possibly be higher depending upon the income, but if they're going to choose to take that out of their Social Security benefits, CMS didn't have an average per se, but the running average right now is about 130 for the automatic deduction from the Social Security check. But so the basic change on that was the 135.50 for the premium amount. Something to note down here, and something that I found personally interesting as well too, is something to keep in the back of your mind, is that about 2 million Medicare beneficiaries, just about 4%, are actually going to end up paying less than that full Part B premium in 2019. Basically, what that's due to is to the statutory hold harmless provision, and it's going to limit beneficiaries' increases on their Part B premium to be no greater than the increase to their Social Security benefits. So depending upon the increase in the Social Security benefits, the actual individuals, about, like I said, about 4% of them are going to end up paying less than that, because they're actually going to be in that window of the statutory hold harmless provision. So that's actually some good news in that aspect. With the one chart in regards to the income bracket breakdowns on the individual tax return side. So if you notice there, anybody that's less than the median income level, 135.50 for the moment. Anyone that's greater than or equal to 500,000 at 460.50. Now, if on the other side of things, on the beneficiaries who are married, or if they they lived with their spouses anytime during the year, but if they're filing separate tax returns in that aspect, anything less than or equal to 85,000, 135.50 again. And then we have two steps in regards to this aspect, and that's 85 to 415, which is the 433.40 amount, and anything greater than or equal to 415 is 460.50. So Medicare Part B deductible is now set at 185 for the year. After they make that deductible, that's when that 80/20 kicks in. So, and thank you, Sue. I appreciate the comment. Yeah, I'm on a bit of a different area here today, so if you have some issues with my audio, please definitely let me know. I'm on a not terribly strong Wi-Fi signal today, but hopefully it will not be too terribly degraded. I appreciate you letting me know on that, just to let me know if something major happens in that aspect. I appreciate that. So again, the deductible amount was something that was adjusted slightly, and that's gone up to 185 for the year. Now, on the Part C side of things, as far as your Medicare Advantage plans, there wasn't really any huge changes per se. Obviously, the plan premiums can vary from one carrier to another, which they're still going to pay their Part B premium to Medicare, and if there is any sort of Part A premium. But one thing that I wanted to note here on the Part C side is that the Advantage premiums on average, they've actually been going down since 2015. The actual average premium was about $32.91. CMS is actually estimating that for the plan year 2019, the average monthly premium is going to decline by about $1.81 to about $28 from last year. So that's actually really good news on the Medicare Advantage side of things. Now, if anybody does want some more information in regards to any of these changes or anything else in regards to, Medicare itself or CMS information, it is quite a long URL that's there, but you've got the cms.gov, and that's their newsroom site where they actually give you the most updated new changes as far as the 2019. I realize that the URL there says Parts B, but that's just how they actually designated the URL for that page. But it basically covers in a real quick summary overview of about a page and a half there about all of the changes that we just discussed. Now, last but certainly not least, I wanted to talk about a part of Medicare that we haven't really ever discussed before, and that's Part Y, and that would be Part U. So obviously AEP can be really, really crazy and really hectic, but it doesn't really mean that you should really compromise your personal well-being just to make some extra sales. Now, obviously, we want you to do well. We encourage you to try and make as many sales as possible. But the thing to remember in this always is taking care of yourself is actually going to benefit you and your career in the long run. And some of the ways that I'd actually like to talk about just real quickly, just to make sure that we stay sane during AEP and that we stay focused, we stay healthy. Just some real quick things to remember is that you always want to make sure that you get your rest. Now, I don't know about you, but my rest is something it's kind of an enigma, as everybody probably would be aware. Sleeping full 8 or 9 hours a night. I personally can fully admit that that's not always available, but it is very important to try and get your rest and as much rest as you can. Burnout happens faster than you think, and not getting the proper amount of sleep is going to be something that leads to that. Now, I know it's kind of an interesting comment to make as far as the junk food, but really, this is really, if you think about it, something pretty simple, and it is really something that I employ with my 10-year-old in the fact that, not that we really feed him tons of junk food, but always in moderation, or at least at a limit. We wouldn't give him any sort of sugar or any caffeinated anything like that after a certain point in the day, just to make sure that he can rest. Now, to be honest with you, he can get 5 hours of sleep and just be completely bouncing off the walls the next day. Between you and me, I wish I still had that energy, but as you get later in life and older in life, that tends to die down. But, avoiding that junk food, making sure that you get your rest. And then, of course, instead of the junk food, you can always just feed your internal soul. And that can be in ways that just tons of ways to even think about it. And that doesn't even just involve detoxing and de-stressing, but just making sure that you're feeding your soul and making sure that you have your time and your you time. One of the things in that is that you can nurture your overall basic health. The main other thing as well is to work smarter and make sure that you utilize your resources and the technology. We're here to help you succeed. If you have a question, if you're running into issues, reach out to your uplines, reach out to our training team, utilize those resources. The technology is there for you to make you successful, not just to make everybody money, but it's there to make you successful and to make your job as easy as possible so that you can actually have the least amount of stress. And then, of course, have fun. And remember, as always, remember to breathe. And the main thing on that is to always remember to laugh. So by laughing, it is a de-stressor. Breathing, making sure that you stay focused and making sure that you just are consciously aware of what's going on, it'll actually have you have an amazing AEP. Now, it is a super busy time of the year. So remember that regardless of any stresses that you might be facing, we are here for you. If you have questions, if you have concerns, if you have any sort of an issues, roadblocks, whatever, you name it, you can reach out to us and contact us, and we will be there for you to actually answer those questions, to give you the resources and the materials that you need. Again, I foresee an amazing AEP this year. The Medicare field in itself is primed and ready to go. So I am to be honest, quite jealous of the individuals selling this year. If I was not doing this job, I would be out there selling. I can 1000% guarantee you that as far as the Medicare sales are concerned. So, and always remember that life's 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So your reactions, it might just require you to take a step back and take a breath and just relax for a moment. But remember, those reactions are going to mean the difference between the success on that and not being successful. So, you are in control of your own destiny and your future. That is all that I have for everybody today.